Take one. 6 days ago, Matt McKeever. You may know that name. You may know Matt from Pocket Pennant Run and more recently Small Ball. And he uploaded a video actually of the game Small Ball. And it was one that I found highly inspiring. So even though me being me, this is probably too soon. One might argue that because I've not done anything like this in several months now, that I don't know, I've already waited a while. So this is since watching that video on Small Ball. Again, I was very inspired, and so I set to work creating sort of the hockey equivalent of that. This is actually not the full game. This is actually 9 copies of the game. This is I don't know, regular sort of 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper here that I've gotten laminated, and this is the actual game itself would fit right onto, let's see here, I've got a Generation Records New York card from when I was in New York briefly. And let's see, this is a Korean business card here. So let's try this one. As you can see there, this game should be able to fit onto a Korean business card. So as far as accepting the game crafter challenge, which I'm not going to enter, but this obviously you can see if I just do that this will fit onto a playing card, a standard playing card rather easily. And just about, I guess this is another Korean business card that I could try here. So it'll just about fit onto to that too. It should actually fit right on that. And this is a game that I actually play tested an earlier incarnation of this a bunch. There it is. So that's what it looked like up until about 8 hours ago. Yeah, something like that. And this is actually one that my wife and I, my first 2-player test game of this, played this earlier today. And since then I've gone away from it and I've modified it a little bit. I've played tested it 3 times since then, just in between doing some other things. It is a very quick playing game. You can play an entire game in about 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, really, if that. It's about a 5 to 10 minute game, so it's even a little faster than Small Ball, which, as Matt says near the beginning of that video, takes about 15 to 20 minutes to play. Especially if you're not explaining it, then it's a fast game. And same with this one, it would be a faster game. And there I go with that nervous tick habit of saying, again. So anyway, so much has changed, right? Nothing's changed. Anyway, I've had 3 playtest games since coming up with this version here, and I really liked how things turned out in the 3 of them. I really feel like it was kind of a perfect sort of composite average of the hockey score. I think that with this, probably with an increased number of playtests, I would predict that the outlier scores, like say your 0-1 or maybe your 10-7, it would actually be pretty hard. The most that you could possibly score in this game would be 24 goals. So that would be like a 12-12 hockey game or some combination of 24 numbers distributed. So that's probably not going to happen. You're probably not going to get extreme scores in this game. But the 3 games that I did play, one was a 3-0 shutout for the home team. The second one was a 4-1 final. I can't remember if I think the visitor won that one 4-1. And then the third game, home won at 6-4. And in at least two, maybe all 3 of those games, there were empty net goals. There is empty net goals in this. And so I like the distribution of scores because, of course, 3 goals plus 5 plus 10, that adds up to 18. That averages out to 6 goals per game. Again, scoring goes up and down in different eras of hockey, but that feels about right to me, about 6 goals per game, with, again, the one game where I had 3 and then the 5 and then the 10. So I like that scores distribution. I like the fact that the visitor did win once and the home won a couple of times. And again, even though I've only play tested this version 3 times, I don't want to say that like I lost count of how many, like to say that it was a super high number that I've play tested this one. Again, this has just been in the last 6 days. Me being me, again, I've been working on other games, developing other games. In fact, sneak peek at this might remind you of, if you can see the McKeever influence in another one that I'm working on as well, then there it is. But so I've been working on that, but this one here, again, it really just struck me watching the Small Ball, and I thought, again, another brilliant creation by Matt. Matt, if you're listening to this, subscribe. It would make my day and my week. And also, for the record, I bought Pocket Pennant Run. I don't even play baseball, but I bought Pocket Pennant Run. I like to support you. And also, I tried to buy Small Ball, but I can't get it shipped either to Canada or to Korea. So I've not been able to buy Small Ball. But I mean, small ball, it's like $10 less. It's less than $10. So I mean, goodness, least I can do to support. Um, but this one here, I'm thinking of offering it up, actually linking to my Google Drive, and if anybody wants to get this and play test it for themselves. Again, remember the whole game is just one of these, not all nine of them. This is just how I printed on the sheet. I thought, like, again, if I want to go nuts and play test a whole bunch and not have to worry about erasing it, then I would just do it like this, like so. But I like the idea, even though I didn't enter the Game Crafter Challenge, I really liked the idea of just being able to create something again that I can fit. I mean, this is an old T Money public transit card from over here. I mean, that's about the size of a playing card, come to think of it, and it definitely fits on that. So I could probably even blow it up a little bit, and I might even, another thing that I might want to do is actually use this as like an inlay and have like a rink surrounding it. But it felt like it was time. Again, it's been a little while, and I just really enjoyed the game that I just played with it, which was that 6-4 final game that the home team won. So the way that it works and how it is very obviously inspired by small ball. Again, you've got a single D6, which I don't think the game crafter, in fact, I'm sure that it does, and I looked at some other entries. How Matt didn't win, I don't know, but of course I'm biased, or how Matt hasn't won it already. I'm not even sure if the contest is over. I'm not in it. But like his game small ball, I wanted to use a single D6, a single dry erase marker, and have at it with something of a similar size. It's not as purdy as his small ball game, but again, I'm thinking of getting a rink graphic and using this as sort of an inlay. I think it's a little trickier to do with this, just to be fair. But you have this is also takes after. I mean, any game's obviously going to be inspired by one or more games, and this also takes after the dock model a little bit. The 8 shifts per period. I experimented with different numbers. I also, at one point in a very early one that I'm not sure if I still have, somewhere here kicking around, I had time. You could actually roll for time, but I found that rolling for time was a little clunky. Yes, this is it. So this one here, I think I'm rolling for time. Yeah, time and then shift. I was kind of rolling for time, but not really. Anyway, the game's called Le Petit Puck, if I didn't mention that already. I don't want to. It is not with any intent. You never know in this day and age of outrage. It's not my intent to offend any francophones. If anything, the joke is on me, the dumb, ignorant anglophone. Yes, I'm aware. I'm not great at French, but I'm aware enough to know this would be something like Le Petit Rondel or Rondel, or possibly Le Rondel Petit. So again, it's playful with the language or whatever. There's certainly absolutely zero malice. So I wouldn't anticipate that anybody in the community would take offense to this anyway, if I'm just being honest and predicting realistically. But you never know, right? The low life and no life out there on the internet that has no concern for this, but will at least pretend to get offended by it. Anyway, casting that aside, because I don't really care too much about that. Le Petit Puck is the name that I came up with. Hey, my Korean wife likes it too, and. So yeah, how it works, again, getting back to it, you choose your line, and home has the advantage as well in that they get the last change. They choose the line last. So let's just say a really simple setup here. Let's say that I go visitor line 1 for this one here. I might even zoom in a little bit for this. But yeah, visitor line 1. And so let's say home line 1 as well. I try to use minimal markings. And because we're even strength and because these lines are evenly matched, it means that first we're going to roll and look at this column, and then we're going to roll and look at this column, provided that there is a scoring chance. It's possible that there will be a penalty leading to a power play, either for the visitor or home. 6 is just basically a null shift, and so we wouldn't look here as well. This is something, though, that I'm thinking of modifying for if there's a line with a big advantage. But and actually, to speak of the advantages, so here I would roll even strength, and then I'm going to look over here. If, say, visitor puts out line 2 and home decides to play line 1, and some of these rules are kind of multiple choice, actually, at this point, just being honest, but I'm going to go with how I've been playtesting it so far. So if let's say VL2 and then HL1, well, how it will work then is you're still rolling an even strength because it's still even strength. But if home gets the chance, they get the chance over here in the plus. And if visitor gets the chance, they have to roll here in the minus. This works similarly for shorthanded on power play as well. There's a possible shorthanded chance, and then you roll in the minus. And what else? What else do I have to get into? I'm going to actually try to get into it and explain it as I play. This will, again, it's going to take 5 to 10 minutes to play, but I'm going to take longer to play this one and just show you how it goes. So we're going to start here, line one, like a lot of hockey games would. And there's that 6, so that first shift is just a null shift or a lull or whatever. So let's say that starting off, we're going to keep it simple. Visitor's going to ice line 2. Home decides to do the same. And 5 this time. So actually what we're going to have here is a home power play. So visitors going to the box. What you have are 6 standard lines. You have 3 shifts of line 1, 2 shifts of line 2, and 1 shift of line 3. And remember, this is a very simple game. So for the lines, you can think of it as some combination of like your best defense and your best or second best forwards, or vice versa, some combo therein. I don't separate forward and defense for this one. And I also don't separate power play and penalty kill, but we can presume here the SL, which stands for special line. Since I have a little more space actually on this one, I might actually put V-spec or home spec or something like that. And I like TLAs, so I like 3-letter acronyms. Anyway, so it's going to be home special line and visitor special line. So what this means is they're going to have their best penalty killers up against the best home power play. And that will mean over here this time I'm going to roll in the power play shorthanded column. That'll be the first roll. And if the power play gets a chance, because the penalty kill is counteracting, the power play is to roll here to see whether or not they score a goal. And if by chance there's a shorthanded chance, then it will mean that the shorthanded would roll on this column here. The shorthanded would roll with a minus. So I'm going to have to try to print all of that on the other side of the card so I can make it like small ball proper. It will not be a challenge. Anyway. So 5. So actually, we're going to get a penalty to the home power play. So the way that it works, again, this is a simple game. I'm not going to go 5-on-3 or anything like that. I'm just going to say for the following shift that, again, home is going to have the man advantage. And so we can assume that visitor, in the process of killing that penalty, took a power play themselves, but at least they prevented a goal. So we're scoreless so far. I guess I could mark this up and out too. So we're here, period 1. And the score is 0-0. I've got this little scoreboard over the side. Later in the game, I'll explain the change. The timeout doesn't work quite like it does in actual hockey, but I do think that there's a little nuance here to the timeout that, again, inspired by Matt McKeever's small ball, and there's a couple of things that you can do in there to sort of coach and strategize that, you can I'll link to his video. You can watch his video and you can see what I'm talking about. But this is going to be another power play shift, and so, again, I'm going to roll in this column first. And again, it's home with the man advantage. So we get a 4 here. So the 4, it's going to be actually a visitor power play. So home is now taking a penalty. At this point now, I've got to get a little creative because these teams are, I'm going to assume actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn the line 3 in this period for each of them. Actually, no, wait, if visitor did that first, if visitor said line 3, home would probably go with the plus. Okay, scratch that. I got to try to divide my mind here equally both sides. So visitor's going to put line 1 out there. They don't want home being able to shoot with a plus and a 50% chance of a goal. Not at this point in the game anyway, or at any point. So home's going to go line 1 as well. So this kind of is another cancel out here. There will be a lot of cancel outs, but you can sort of coach and strategize. And my wife and I were messing around with that a little bit earlier. This sort of, again, it's a simple game. How many times have I said that? But it bears repeating. So this is sort of a cancel out here. But we will roll in a different column. So this is still a little bit better than just rolling at even strength for the power play team. And this time it is the visitor. And a 4. So holy smoke, I've got to shake and roll better. And the visitor is going to get another power play. So we'll assume that these guys are tired. Visitor is going to go with 2. And home as well. I've gone back and forth on like double shifting the line 1, and obviously these special lines are probably made up of several, if not all, top line players. But for the time being, we're going to say 2 and 2 here, so another cancel out. And that is a 4 because why wouldn't it be? So the visitor is going to stay here with a player advantage. And of course, this game is going to look a lot worse than the one that I play tested off camera. So we're going to save these bench warmers here for period's end, and we're going to let visitor roll once more in this column. Don't be a 4 or a 5. I've actually thought about modifying that. So the home's going to get a power play. So we've got really a smash and grab chippy game here. The players are they can't even see the edge, right, in the rear view mirror. They're playing over the edge and not on it. And so for the final, this will be a cancel out here. But we're just going to go with who isn't tired, the best remaining defensive and offensive players. And again, it's going to be the visitor. Okay, 3. So this time there will be a chance here on the power play finally for the visitor. And so the follow-up roll here, we're going to see if they can score. And that is a 5. So that's actually going to be a goal. So at the tail end of 1, they managed to set aside the shenanigans and the rough stuff long enough to net a goal here in the final shift of the frame. So it's 1-0 after 1 period of play. Now I can just, let's call this the Zamboni here, even though it's just after period 1. And we're going to set things up here for the second period. You don't have much room to write, but again, that's sort of the point of it, is that it's a mini game. And I could even blow it up a little bit so it will fit to a playing card proper. Anyway, so we'll start again. I mean, it's just a 1-goal game, so let's keep things simple, especially since I'm trying to explain this as I go. And that is a tilted die. You know what? Let's play around with there a little bit. Okay, so we get a 2, so nice 2. That's going to be a home scoring chance. And again, the 1 and the 1, so they're even. So home is rolling here to try to score and tie the game. And they get a 6, so they don't actually score there on it. So we'll say that visitor's going to ice line 2 now, and home will do the same. And away we roll, and that is a 1. So that's actually going to be the visitor's scoring chance here to double up on the home team, and that's a 4. So they just we say it hit the post or something. If you want to add your own little narrative, let's say that visitor line 3 this time, and maybe because home is coaching, they go, you know what, we really need this goal. So they're at a +2 now, which I'm thinking of giving them a chance here and nullifying the null 6 for that. That's that one's pending, but they're still going to roll. It is still at even strength. If I get a 3, I'll explain that. If I manage to roll a 3, no 5. So home power play actually. Okay, so for this one here again, visitor's going to put on their penalty kill unit. Home's going to put on their power play unit, and we're going to roll here in this green column here now. So that's a 2. That's going to be a chance for the power play. And I got a little ahead of myself there. Who is on the power play? Is it visitor or home? I might have to actually maybe include something where I can mark that. So I'm going to have to go back and play this video back. I know it is a power play chance, but was this a chance for the visitor or a chance for the home? Which one ended up taking the penalty there? I'm trying to remember now. I think it was home that got the power play. We'll say home. We like tie games. So if it is, then it's either 2-0 for the visiting team or 1-1 for the home game, or home team rather. Right now, this is a demo anyway of this game. So anyway, we're all tied up. And now can home, maybe they can, visitor burn their line. So now home's got to think about when they can burn their line 3. Maybe, no, visitor's probably going to put their line 1 out there now, assuming, I don't know, there's a play stoppage and they had time. And so home as well, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So home's going to go with, let's say, line 2 for this one. Visitor here with a +1 advantage, the plus advantage. And a 6, so that's going to be a null shift anyway. And it wasn't a full +2 advantage, it's a +1. I'm thinking of changing the 6. The +2, the 2 times that a +2 would come up would be, say, visitor line 1 versus home line 3, or vice versa. And or if you get a special line out there, because you can blow a special line against one of these lines and get a +1 even against your line 1. The special line is like, imagine McDavid taken to the ice with Draisaitl. I've not watched it in months. Maybe that's a regular thing now that they load up. Or like Dallas used to do when Sagan and Ben and goodness, Radulov were all closer to their primes, and they wouldn't always put them in the same line, but then late in the period they would, or Colorado for that matter with the McKinnon and Rantanen. You get the idea, because sometimes they break them up, but only to put them back together toward the end of the period, especially if they're like down a goal. So there is that here. But this was only a +1 advantage anyway, and the shift ended up being nullified. So allow me to shut up and roll. Home's going to try to burn that line 3 now, because I think visitor just had line 1 on, if I'm not mistaken. So visitor again, line 2, they're going to get a +1 here. And let's see what they can manage to do with this. So the roll there is 1. That is a visitor scoring chance at a +1. So now they're rolling here with a 50-50 chance of taking the lead here. In period 2, they get the 1, so that doesn't actually work. They miss an opportunity there. And we're going to say line 1 and line 1 here. And then I realized that I still have the special, and this has been a less penalty-heavy period, obviously, relative to the first. But again, what I just said about Dallas and other teams that load up, or that used to do it that way, you can assume that at the end of the frame if you're not blowing them on odd man situations. Anyway, so the six, so we get another null. So we are down to the final shift of the period. I don't really need to mark it there. That's pretty straightforward and easy to see and remember, I think, even for me. That's going to be a visitor scoring chance here. And again, it's at even this time, the roll is. So three, that's going to be the visitors once again, like they did at the end, at the tail end of one. They've managed to take a 2-1 lead here at the end of period two. So starting period three, I don't think we're going to get a 3-goal gap at any point, so I will explain this. Change the goalie. I might change it to down by 2, actually, because one of the things when I made this change, the scoring in earlier versions of this game was a little more out of hand. I was averaging about 7 or 8 goals minimum per game. It felt like for a lot of them, though I did have some. Well, yeah, I was going to say 4 threes in there, but that'd be 7 goals as well. Goodness. So when it was this, the GC goalie change there was down by 3. I might actually change it to down by 2. And the way that it works, if you're down, you can, what am I trying to say here? You can, you get a plus basically to the next line that you put on the ice. That line gets a plus. So like 2 becomes a 1, 1 becomes a special. Special would have a +1 even over another special, and so on. It basically, it's like you go to the bench, and while the goalies are changing, the coach is grilling the team, grilling his lineup, has the whiteboard out, has the tablet out, and is just just giving them a good going over and sort of motivating them for the following shift, let's say. There is that, so that's one sort of catch-up tactic. Timeout actually buys time in this. It's a little different than an actual hockey timeout. Maybe I'll wait to explain that one further. I'll probably try a timeout at some point, especially if it stays close. And then pull, obviously, is pull the goalie, which you use this column. And so it makes it a little easier to score for the team that pulled their netminder. But here, this is a straight goal. You need not roll here, so you can just end up with an empty net goal. Or like sometimes what happens, a team just sort of crowds the front of their own net or collapses in front of their own goaltender, and you end up not getting a goal either way. So there is that possibility. But here for the third period, the visitors, again, they took that 2-1 lead. So you know what? Maybe home will gamble. Let's try this. So they're going to put the special, they're going to throw on maybe 4 forwards or something ridiculous here. Let's imagine this is like a playoff critical game here. The home team, they're down like 3-2 in a best-of-7 series, facing elimination. They need that +1, even though it is even strength. That is a force. The visitors are taking a power play. Home has overplayed their hands. The visitors now come on with the power play. Home's going to have to use their one final special shift here to try to kill this off, and we're going to look at the power play shorthanded. That is a 6. So the 6 is actually going to be a shorthanded chance, however, for the home. Could they reverse fate and fortune here? They need a 1 to score. They narrowly missed there. The shorthanded chance, there's a collective groan at the home arena. And so now we're going to go to, I think, line 2 and line 2. Now these lines wouldn't be as tired. And so this is a 2 here. And again, because it's 2 and 2, we're looking even. That's a home scoring chance, another shot to tie it. And rolling for the even, but that is the 6. So again, they're all relatively narrow misses when you're only using a D6, right? But you can narrate a little bit, add in your own stuff. I think maybe they mutually want to burn off this line 3 shift here early in the frame, so we'll do that now. That is a 6, and so there they go. A burn off, burn out, it is a null. Did I? No, I didn't actually do this yet. I didn't do the goalie change, so I think you got to be down by a minimum of 2. Otherwise, it makes no sense in hockey terms, I don't think. Unless the goalie gets hurt or something. And there's nothing like that here. This is a very simple game. I should echo the Matt McKeever. Actually, in mid-game, I'll do that because why not? It's me being me. So this isn't for like simulating long seasons or anything like this. This, much like his game Small Ball, is designed to be a 2-player game. This is a strategy game. Obviously, where 1d6 is involved, there's more than a little luck involved, but there's also a smidge in there, a modicum of strategy. And so anyway, before I lose my place totally, let me try to check back into the game now. Because there was that narrow miss there. And so let's say that the teams now, maybe visitor wants to add to their lead and they're going to gamble on no more penalties being called. So let's get a little creative here. We're going to go visitor. They're going to get a +1 here against the home line 1 just to try to cancel out what is also a relatively strong line for the home team. And that is a 3. So the 3, okay, I didn't explain this yet because we're even strength, but it came up. I might change the symbols here a little bit, but this H, not a star, up, I should know what it's called, but I don't, an upward pointing little arrow. and then a C4. So HC4, basically what this means, if the lines were even, this would be a slight home ice advantage here. It would be, what am I trying to say here? You need a follow-up roll. This is an example where you need a follow-up roll. I think it's the only one in this current incarnation of the game. So for this, because I wanted to limit the rolls, but if the follow-up roll, 1 to 4, the chance goes to home. 5 or 6, the chance goes to visitors. So you're getting that small percentage on that one there for the home ice advantage. But because visitor has the higher line out right now, this cancels out the line 1. This H either changes from home to high, and or this up arrow takes precedent in this case. So it will be the visitor actually if the follow-up roll is 1 to 4. So it's a 3, so it will be the visitor here with a chance to add to their lead, and also it's a plus, so they're rolling in a plus, so this could really pay off for them. It is a 3, so it does not actually. So they at home they keep the red light from being lit, and let's see here. Let's go. I guess to 2 and 2. We're going to save the ones for the final shift. Although, wait, home is down by a goal. So I think what will happen here, let's say at some point that they used a timeout, and so they're going to buy a shift. They're going to have one more shift with their special line. However, obviously with timeouts, it's mutual, so the visitors are going to rest their best guys too. Basically, the timeout here serves as a little catch-up mechanism and allows for a 9th shift in the 3rd period, I decided. So that's how we do that. We're not going to change here because this is a 1-goal game. So the 2 and the 2, I don't think they've shifted yet. I hope they don't think that they have. I got a little ahead of myself there. So the home's going to have the power play here. This is a good chance for them to tie. So I think we're going to have to blow that special on that. Whoops, okay. Again, so much has changed. Fumbling, dropping stuff all over the place. So marker down and out of play. And this is on the power play as well. Got to remember, home in the power play here. So that is going to be a power play chance here for the home. And rolling even. That is a 3. That's going to be a tie game here. Also, in one of my play tests, because you can do a shootout as well, I had a shootout that went 5 or 6 rounds. I don't even like shootouts, but I thought that was kind of fun. So we have a 2-all game here now with 1 shift to go here in the 3rd period. And, of course, I don't really need to... Look at that. It's a null. For the final shift of the game, it's a null. So you know what? I'm going to keep playing, and just whatever comes to me. Let's see, period. You might mark a little OT in here if you want to, or an ST for sudden death. I guess if this is your 5-minute overtime, if you want to do what the NHL does currently during the regular season, and I don't know why you would, but maybe that's my age showing and telling. What you could do here, sorry, wait, they've already blown their, home blew their timeout. I have to remember that. Home used their timeout. So change is still available, and pull is still available. That's right, they tied, and nobody would pull there. That would make sense. And the null was the final. But so we're into OT. So I guess it would be like 2 shifts, right? It's 5 minutes because 5, 10, 15, 20, basically. We could do it like that, and then the shootout, actually, when I did the shootout, again, I was using this version of it, so I might have to sort of improvise here if I get to a shootout. Again, I don't really care about shootouts. I've mentioned it in multiple videos before. I like them in skills competitions. I like them during the All-Star break. In fact, I'm going to throw it out there in this video. I would like to see a reverse shootout. Maybe they did it in this year's All-Star break. I wasn't watching. I've taken a few months off. I checked out of hockey. I took the season off. Sorry. I will try to get back with some things, but I'm not going to say specifically what. But what was I going to say? Yes. So I would like to see a reverse shootout where the goalies are actually shooting on players. See the players, like some of the All-Star players that go to the All-Star game in the gear, the skaters in goalie gear, and see the goalies just in either their street clothes or like a skater's attire, and the goalies get to take shootout shots on the players. I want to see a reverse shootout. That would add a skills competition. That would be interesting. That would actually make me watch it. However, let's get back to this now. We're in overtime. This is a 2-all hockey game here. And yeah, I'm going to try OT and then maybe a shootout. So anyway, a 3, we can assume, I mean, it's going to be a cancel out either way, right? It's either best or line 1, so I'm not even going to bother with that right now. This is a 3, so because they're even, we're going to say 1 to 4 home, 5 or 6 visitor. And that is a six. So the visitors here with a chance to put the home away. They almost did it in regulation. And again, we're even. So a three or a five ends this game, but it is another six. So we play on here. Let's see another even matchup here at even strength. And four, that's going to be a visitor power play, but we're going to say that it's too late in the thing. Actually, that's one thing that I like about the empty net. I've actually removed the penalties from this. I might have to think about doing something for that when it's at the end of the game, an asterisk, and not for the final shift or whatever. But so the shootout, how was I? Yes, I was doing it this way. 3 rounds, because usually what happens is teams, they put their best three shooters out there for round one. So again, this is a simple game. So for the first three, usually the top shooters are around 33%. So that equates to roughly 2 out of 6. And so what I do is I do 3 rounds rolling on this column, and then all of the ensuing rounds rolling on this column. That was how I did the shootout. I remember now. Okay, so you could even change this. You want to play around, get playful with it. This can be an SO. And how is this over half an hour? This is actually Matt's video is over half an hour as well. So four we have here for the first. We'll say that home lets visitor go first. So visitor fails. We're going to do 3 rounds minimum here. So round one for the home and the one, they also don't manage to score. So round two for the visitor, another one, they don't manage to score. Round two for home, 6, they don't manage to score. Round three for the visitor. We have a goal, so the visitors take the lead here, 3-2 in the shootout. And for the home, oh, whoops, I should let it go in the tray, shouldn't I? I didn't actually see what that was. I picked it up too quickly. I guess I can watch this video again and see what it probably would have been. 2, so actually the visitors here in the shootout, they get the game winner, if you want to call it that, in the shootout. When you pull a goalie, I think that's the only thing that I've yet to explain. If you pull the goalie, let me try to recall now how it works. First of all, you're rolling in this column the empty net. So that's how it works. So whatever line you have, it's going to give them a plus. That again, that up arrow, little arrow icon or whatever, it indicates a plus. And but at the same time, the advantage for the team that's playing 5-on-6, let's say 5 skaters-on-6 or whatever, they don't have to roll in this column to get the goal. They're not trying to beat a goalie. So a 4 or a 5, they just fire it into the empty net. And does this work? It's fast, short, easy answers, yes. And all of the 3 aforementioned games that I did this afternoon in between doing other things, there was an empty net goal in each one of them. Here, this game was tied late, so we didn't see an empty net goal. We got a 3-2 game here. So anyway, that is Petit Puck, and I think I'm going to link this in my Google Drive and upload this, the first video that I've uploaded in some months now. So I think it was about December 23rd. Anyway, I'm not going, as this is already over half an hour long, I'm not going to get into why it's been that long with me. Again, it's that whole not do anything for one reason only is a combination. But I think that's true of everybody. I talk like that's unique to me, but when you really think about it, right, everybody does things or doesn't do things for multiple reasons usually. The final thing that I will do to sound off here is the sign off here or whatever. Not sound off, but sign off here is, let me zoom in on this. Let me give you a closer look, because I was cognizant of it as I was video recording this. But so there it is. You can see it there zoomed in. I mean, it's not, again, I just did it in Google Sheets. At this point, it's not too much to look at. But I think with this one, I will invite play testing, and let me know what you think. I, for one, was satisfied with how this particular game turned out. I don't think I made any mistakes playing my own game. If I did, I suppose I could lie to you or just make it up and say that I didn't, but no, I wouldn't do that. One thing that I have to do, though, and I think I'll put positive pressure on myself to do it now, is get a little rules, whatever, done. But of course, you can always email Hockey Unreal. I don't know if there's enough ink left in this marker, but Hockey Unreal, it's the exact same as the channel, except there's no space between the Hockey and the Unreal, and it's all lowercase, at gmail.com. Google gave it to me because Unreal Hockey was taken, and so I just decided to to go for this with this anyway. So you can email it to me, and I'll try to get that Google Drive link up in a few other places as well. If for any reason you're not comfortable emailing, sharing personal information, that's totally fine. I won't take it personally at all. You can go and get it and download it, and feel free to let me know in this channel or elsewhere. Again, email or wherever. Perhaps I'll get back in Delphi. It's only a matter of time, I'm sure. But let me know what you think, and any ideas, any modifications. I'll go with what I think I first heard Dave saying, that John Kay, the creator of Shootout, has said, which is simply that I only care that you're enjoying it. I showed you how I play it. You're absolutely more than welcome to modify this and play it however you wish. And I'm not going to complain at all. Now, if you change it and then say that it's not a good game because this, and this, but the way that you're playing it is not the way that I designed it, then that's something different. But I mean, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about anyway. So, do you know what I'm talking about? All right, what I'm talking about is it's good to be back. It felt right at this moment. I felt like I would know and I would feel when it was time to come back and finally make a video after a little while, and I think this is it. So as I am working on basically the only thing hockey that I've been doing, I've mentioned this to a couple people, the only thing hockey that I've been doing honestly for the past few months, because I've been investing time in doing other things, is game design. I've barely watched any hockey at all or done anything else to do with hockey except game design. This one, obviously, I didn't start a few months ago. This one I started 6 days ago because, again, hey, shout out to Matt McKeever and Pocket Pennant Run, and the game that definitely very obviously inspired this one, that being Small Ball. So, and this is a free game. I'm looking for play testing, but even when I finalize it, whatever that is, this will be a free game. This is I'm just gonna set it up at I'm gonna say like, I'm not gonna do what like Al did with Fast Drive or anything like that. This is at the cost of just pay it forward. Just, and it doesn't even have to be monetarily, financially. Do something nice for someone else. If you get any enjoyment out of this game at all, spread it, share it. Do a good thing for another person. That's all. That's the only the cost, let's say, for this. All right. Cheers. Thanks. Bye for now.